the cadet, in particular, independence unit, gave me some direction.
Don't call me Jill Tete, Jill bitch.
And we remember JC used to give us and sell us the bread and butter and bread and cheese and sky juice.
No cadet never, from independent unit or other cadet unit, never drop out of training. You understand? None of us never drop out.
Remember when I was given a toothbrush to sweep off the parade square? And the brush, the breeze blew back the dust on the square. 1979, I joined the St. Peter Claver Boy Scout. I spent a year before joining the Penwood Secondary Cadet Unit. And because of the crime and the violence in 1980, which was the wickedest time when it comes to the political war, I was transferred and enrolled into Norman Manley Secondary School. And that's where I met Ian Dixon, who introduced me to the independent unit. And that's how my history got started of being an ex-cadet of the 80s in the independent unit. I remember walking from Norman Manley Secondary School to Upper Camp and South Camp Road. I got through the entrance gate and made my way to the ear wing. And that's where the independent unit cadet headquarters situated. Ian Dixon was already a cadet, but I was there to join. So he pointed me to the recruiting center and made his way to a set of cadets that was falling in. I did my test and I passed, and I thought that was it until I was instructed by Staff Sergeant Bruff to fall in with over 20 other recruits. He had us doing sit-ups, push-ups, and frog jumps up and down some steps, among other things. At one point, some of the instructions seems impossible, but wanting to be a cadet so bad, I made it possible. To graduate as a cadet attached to the independent unit was never an easy task. In speaking of map buckle, survival camping, crackers and water without your mother and father, all there is the wicked instructor. Knapsack, pack and back, combat boot shine to the max, head dress sit neatly and head tap. Learning to drill, when we hear attention, we had to stand still. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but we have to carry on same way. Every recruit goals is to be in the parade square on graduation day. If life permit us, we would stay in camp until we're old and grey. But the realities of life, one day we must walk away, soaring to higher heights. But while soaring, cadet, the training and the militants remain a part of us and also help to guide us as we move through the walks of life. It's always nice to know that I am an ex-cadet, especially at the independent unit in the 80s.
Greetings to all ex-independent members, the 80s era. This is ex-cadet Patrick Robinson. There's a lot to say in retrospect of those former years when we were toddlers, age 14, 15, without any real sense of direction. I must say the cadet, in particular independence unit, gave me some direction. I always say cadet to me was like the moral compass, and through its training and development, I continued to pursue a part in the Jamaica Defense Force. I give you a story. One day, while in camp as a cadet, I remember going to a soldier, shoot Ben. All cadets understand that term. So I shoot Ben to the soldier and said, "Sir, can you tell me how to join the army?" And that soldier was so accommodating. He explained to me the processes and all those things. I eventually joined the army, and can I tell you, 20 years later, I trained that soldier on his promotional course. And one of the things that propelled me to that level in the army, which I obtained the rank of warrant officer, was that foundation which was entrenched in me from being a cadet. I am one of those from humblest beginnings and could easily move in the part of unrighteousness, as they say. But cadet steered me, it kept me on the right path, and I can say there's a lot to give thanks for. Many of my friends, those who joined the army, the police force, or went on their own different career path, when I meet with them, they say similar things. Cadet days, the cadet days. That was the stage in my life that made the difference with me today.
The year is very important because in those times the training was up to standard. You have to be on your P's and Q's. Unlike some of these new units and the way they trained, the rules, the regulation, and how it's adhered to.
It's a wonderful feeling, you know, I mean, to be ex-cadet. For me, really, it has helped me a lot throughout my professional life and my personal life as a disciplinarian, you know. I joined the cadet in the 80's, and I can tell you guys that cadet has molded me, and when I got training school, I, you know, advanced. I was the head boy, #1 class captain, shoot good and everything, you know, the way there. Marksmanship principle, best at arm, skill at arm, #1 marker. Then call me Jill Tete, Jill bitch, you understand? And things like that. And, you know, 4 boys. One of the big money was in a cadet, America, well, they are all overseas, in a GRCC, you know, in a Philadelphia. And then my last son now, who is 20, he is a member of the US military, graduated as a sniper, you know, so, you know, cadet has helped us, you know, help me, you know, discipline my youths, my professional life and private life, and be a good citizen all around. You know, a detective corporal of police, you know, attached toward protective service division. I am good.
Back then in our time, the recruits has to be sharp. A lot of members from the independent unit went over into the army.
Yes, fellow cadets, Tucker here. May I say, enough cadets, you know, we join JDF now, remember them roots, now. Enough man used that independent unit. And we did it. But them no remember them roots, I hit bill us. I remember in a training 30 years ago. You hear me say? 30 years ago I hit bill way. Nurture we go to the training easy. But under pressure, because the instructor them know say we're a soldier, we're not supposed to make no farmer mistake.
So say when you say that now, just R.I.P. Bruff.
Yeah.
Remember that man?
Yeah, man, Bruff used to rough with way and thing. So you see, me learning hard way and everything about the world cadet thing. Man must remember them roots where them a come from. You see it? Yeah, man, we have to remember the roots.
Yeah, but some instructor we used to hate when they just go in there and you realize if I never hit them, it wouldn't so easy for you.
Yeah, man. The thing easy. Just through a cadet. Because we have the basic already. Enough pressure, but we smooth and we make it to the end. No cadet never, from independent unit or other cadet unit, never drop out of training. You understand? None of us never drop out. and we hold it till the end. We fight from beginning to the end. And we thank God for independent unit.
When regular civilian who came directly off the street was struggling, the cadets that came from the independent unit and maybe other units over the island make it look easy. But especially the ones that train right there in camp.
Cadet. Yeah, my name is Ferguson D. You know that cadet for me was actually, it helped me a lot to motivate me, and it's a mental, moral and physical thing for me and to others who joined the cadet force. Now, most of them who move on to the JDF, so move on to the police force, then other move on to elsewhere. Wherever I move on to do my lifeguard training, where I am a qualified lifeguard instructor. Wherever I went to work to University of West Indies, where I worked there for 20 years. Then after leaving there, I do my freelance swimming, where I teach a JDF learn to swim program. Wherever you know they carry in the swimming in JDF, if you cannot swim, you cannot get promotion or you cannot get rank. So I was one of the instructors who they recommended to assist. Wherever I teach 1GR, 2GR, guys from 3GR, SSB, I teach guys from Engineer Regiment and most from HU JDF. Now, cadet to me was the greatest thing for me. We could go elsewhere, we could take up gun, we could do all kind of thing, and we chose not to. Right? But I am bigging up all of my ex-cadet friend them and the friend, but I cannot big up everybody one time, but Simit V, Penny Cigar, Carl Moniz, C.M. Robinson there, McLean, Thomas, Brian D, Gray, Cassie, a lot more, but you know, we cannot remember all, but you know. And we remember JC used to give us and sell us the bread and butter and bread and cheese and Sky Juice. And remember also the greatest N Myrie, they call him Buju Bantan.
Buju Bantan joined the cadet at the independent unit while attending Denham Town. He got his training right there at the upper camp down by the Ear Wing. That's where the cadet headquarters situated. Private Myrie M. Days of training used to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. As serious as Buju Bantan could get. Just mention JC cornbread and butter and watch the smile cover him face. Buju Bantan is properly trained, so never try to style his revolutionary personality. He knows about survival camping. He has been in many map battles. He knows how to hit bullseye and to assemble and disassemble a rifle. He knows how to march and how to salute, how to present arms and how to shoot. He knows the importance of respecting the senior and how to skip obstacles and jumping over barrier. Cadet of the 80s, early 90s is no joke. They are already soldiers before they even entered the army. When civilians who came directly off the street are struggling to pass their PT and even to memorize the bookwork, the independent units going over is like taking a candy from a baby. In speaking of training and the bookwork, marching and maintaining discipline, compiling the whole training, a cadet has little or nothing to do. Viewers and subscribers, you are listening to Talk Show with Telly, and we speak of cadets of the 80s, in particular, independent unit. This is the first series and we have more to come. Keep watching Talk Show Telly and learn more about independent unit. And not just a unit, but independent unit of the 80s. Talk Show current, Talk Show youth, Talk Show.